Welcome to the Psy Tai podcast number 30. I have a new study that was just published for y'all, and it was approved by the FDA and sponsored by MAPS MDMA. And we're gonna go over this PTSD and everything. But first, let's cue this intro. Hey guys, it's your host, Captain Naga. Hopefully y'all having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time this is coming at you. Take this energy now that we all in the same boat. We can start the conversation. Hey guys, man, welcome. We made it to 30 episodes. I'm feeling nice. Welcome, Tai'ers. Hey, family. I have a new study for y'all, man. If y'all can tie back with me, man. But before I start any of this, I gotta say, the Psy Tai podcast does not condone the use of illegal or legal drugs. What you do with your body, What we do on this channel is we review scientific studies done by scientists in hospitals, universities, and also I give my 2 cents worth of experience. This is for educational purposes only. Not telling you to go out and do these drugs. All right, now that we passed that, for the other newcomers, just ties when you combine your mind with your heart, connect those two circles, and you let whatever come out, it just comes rushing out. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just tie on these on this MDMA, Ecstasy, Molly, however you hear it in your neck of the woods. It's all the same thing. We hear it in our songs, Future. They talk about Molly and everything, but this drug is not just a party drug. It can be used for treatment-resistant depression. Treatment that got me kind of confused, but treatment-resistant depression and postpartum depression, PTSD, and social anxiety disorders. This is why people take it when they go to the club. They like to feel more social and all these things. But alongside psychotherapy, the FDA has approved in the past. Check out the previous Psy Tai episode where I was talking about this in depth as well. But they approved trials that MAPS wanted to conduct. You see them up there. MAPS is the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. And what they do is they go at these studies scientifically and rigorously. Like they jot stuff down, they got charts and everything. So the FDA approved these trials so that they can see the effects on veterans, and as y'all gonna see other people that they recruited through the internet or through mental health institutions and such like that, because a lot of the medicines that are out here now are not helping at all. They're not helping people. Treatment-resistant depression. Yeah, with treatment-resistant depression, not people that's actually trying the Zoloft's and all these other medications, amphetamines and stuff. They're trying. They say, oh, doctor, I need something, but they're not working. So as MDMA is not one of the classic psychedelics like LSD, psilocybin, mushrooms, and DMT, but I've never taken it myself. So I'm an observer of all of this, like probably most of y'all are not, but I ain't gonna front on nothing. I'm not gonna front on nothing, but I do want to speak the truth and get the conversation out there so that the conversation can be started, so that the stigmatism that's placed on these drugs can lessen, so that their full potential and therapeutic value can actually be put to use, and not just the stigmatism that people want to put these drugs underneath their tongues or eat them so they can go to the clubs or feel a little something for something amount of time and not actually think about changing their lives. It's a lot that needs to be talked about. So I'm so happy. This is the first time that this has ever happened, that the FDA is the group, the federal something agency, but they are the government's ploy device of checking what drugs should be Schedule 1 or 2, and that changed the whole dynamic on how people are treated when they're caught with these drugs or how they're looked at. Because when something's called Schedule 1, it's not just Schedule 1 to them. They put all this information and stuff that reaches your subconscious that affects the population so that they see this thing as a dangerous thing for society to have their hands on, and something that society shouldn't deem necessary. Like a Schedule 1 drug is something that is deemed that has no therapeutic value whatsoever. And remember, marijuana, cannabis was all under the same scale once upon a time. It still is. What am I talking about? It still is. I was talking about Canada. Canada is on board, and you are gay, but for the United States, they're working state by state. But we're going to stick on the Ecstasy Molly tip right now. All right, I got something for y'all. I got an article. All right, this is the press release. Wait, what was this one then? All right, this was what was sent on the maps. Well, they sent me an email, and that's how I was hyped up on. This was just released 3 days ago. 3 days ago. So this is fresh. All right. It says, Colorado study, this took place, Colorado study shows lasting benefits of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for treating chronic PTSD. Encouraging results. Yeah. And they saying what I was saying today, the largest ever U.S. Food and Drug Administration, that's what the FDA, regulated clinical trials of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for the treatment of chronic post-traumatic stress disorder were published in the peer-reviewed Journal of Psychopharmacology. Sponsored by, yep. All right, this is just what they send me, but I want to go into the real thing. This is the actual journal, and it was published in the Journal of Psychopharmacology. And this is 3,4-methylondoxymethanamine assisted psychotherapy for treatment of chronic post-traumatic stress disorder, a randomized phase 2 controlled trial study. So shout outs to Marcelia, Jim, and Bruce, and the other ones that's under the more. Y'all see this was first published October 29th, 2018. So I'm getting this out to y'all as fast as I can. The background. All right, update background. I already went over the background. The aims of this study, the pilot study dose trial, response trial assisted efficiency and safety of MDMA assisted psychotherapy across multiple therapy teams. So what I figured that to mean was that they actually had different therapists conduct the studies. It wasn't just one therapist doing what they do, because people got their own ways of going about circumstances and events. Even if y'all studied at the same school, we're all individuals. So that's pretty cool that they went that deep into that. Okay, let's keep going. Method. This what they did. And this the abstract. All right, 28 people with chronic post-traumatic stress disorder were randomized in a double-blind dose-response comparison of two active doses, 100 and 125 milligrams, with a low dose 40 milligrams of MDMA administered during 8-hour psychotherapy sessions. Change in the clinician administered PTSD scale total scores 1 month after 2 sessions of MDMA served as the primary outcome. So after a month, they did the same test and everything, and they compared it to what it was a month ago. So do you see how the other studies, they usually wait like a couple days with psilocybin mushrooms, or they wait a week or two? This, they wait a whole month just to keep us on the time scale and to dive deep into their world. Okay, active dose groups had 1 additional open label session. The low dose group crossed over for 3 open label active dose sessions. A 12-month follow-up assessment occurred after the final MDMA session. So, oh, that's wild. So I didn't recognize that this study actually took place over the course of a year. It wasn't just something that was done on willy-nilly, all in like a course of a week or something like that. They took their time, did the analysis, and they really plotted out what they wanted to do and learned from probably mistakes of previous trials, so they can really see what they want to do. All right, let's keep going. So what were the results? The intent to treat scale set. The active groups had the largest reduction in the clinician-administered PTSD scale total scores at the primary endpoint, with mean changes of negative -26 for 126 milligrams, -24 for 100 milligrams, and -11 for 40 milligrams. Also, you see that it really is dose dependent. It really is dose dependent how much you take. How much you take changes, affects how much, I'm just tying on my own, affects how much treatment you were actually able to receive. Because I see that the medicine does its work, and as Michael Pollan and as I'll be saying too, the therapists are really there to guide you along. It's like really assisted therapy. Like you're doing the work yourself. The therapists are just there as the guides. The medicine is really doing the work. Sorry for that. All right. Well, what happened? Got some charts. Let's go back up to where we were. All right. Post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms remain lower than baseline at 12-month follow-up, with 76% not meeting post-traumatic stress disorder criteria. There were no drug-related serious adverse events, and the treatment was well tolerated. Let's see what they said about the conclusions before I give my 2 cents. Our findings support previous investigations of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy as an innovative, efficacious treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. So just from that alone, just from that little tidbit alone, we can see, before I start... Yeah, just from that little tidbit alone, we can actually see how after 12 months after this life-changing experience, they didn't even fit the criteria for post-traumatic stress disorder. They didn't have those thoughts bringing in their brain anymore, just distracting them. Gunshots, terrors, nightmares, gone, washed away. And the treatment was well tolerated. So it's not like during the session they were just skitzing out. And then it was like, oh, well, I got something good out of all that skitzing out and stuff. It was well tolerated. It means it was enjoyable. They were enjoying dealing with the pain and feeling the joy and the mix of the sad and the tears probably coming out at one moment, then laughing, bursting into laughter the next second. They were enjoying all of that. That's what I see well tolerated as meaning. This is awesome. 2018, MDMA, psychosystem psychotherapy, FDA, and MAPS. All this all coming together to create a life-changing events. Man, just think about all the things that Captain Naga is saying. But we're gonna go down and we're gonna see, just look at some charts. Not gonna dive real deep into it, but we're gonna see what they got. We're gonna see what's here. This is the long introduction. And this is just a little bit about their life. Like, if y'all don't really not hip to what PTSD is, and I believe a lot of people have, especially people that grow up in the hood and in cities and things, have levels of PTSD. Myself included in the past. I grew up in the projects in Philadelphia, North Philly. So I had to recognize a lot of things. And I really do thank psychedelics and meditation and all of these things for coming along full circle, therapy and everything, so that I'm able to be the person that I am today. But this is what they put in the introduction. We're going to read this part. Because remember, they said that they did not reach the criteria for meeting PTSD. So this is what PTSD was before. This is what the people that were brought into the study were saying. He said they seem to be continuously living in a story that is in a distant past, and consequently are not fully living in the present time. The social impact includes alienation, loneliness, and functional impairment. There is an immense need for innovative treatment options that improve outcomes, especially for PTSD refractory to psychotherapy and or pharmacotherapies. So, wow. And I like when they use this word. MDMA says psychotherapy is a novel approach that combines psychotherapy with limited administration of MDMA in a controlled setting to enable people suffering from PTSD to process trauma more effectively. And they talk about how they went off of the old things, the old studies. All right, this is how they found them. This is how I was saying how they found them. The candidates were recruited via internet advertisements and referrals from mental health professionals and were screened using a scripted telephone interview. Potential participants, men and women over the age of 18, underwent in-person psychological assessments. They went in. All right. Then they were interviewed after they did some more tests, study design. All right, they were randomized, so they mixed them all up. They didn't really know how much they was going to be having. That's a good thing. That's a good thing that I'm seeing. Let me read it for y'all. I just read it in my head. Participants were randomized to receive an active 125 to 100 milligrams or a compactor 40 milligram dose of MDMA during the 2 double-blind 8-hour experimental sessions spaced a month apart. Okay. Participants were randomized to a web-based system. Okay, we don't really need to know that much, but a web-based system, that's cool. So that means that, to break that part down, what that is saying that they were given either 125 milligrams, 100 or 40 milligrams worth of MDMA randomized through a computer. So they probably had to like pick a button or something and say, oh, you got this one. I don't know. But what's cool about it is that when you're working with placebos and stuff like that, you able to see how much of the effect really happened. Like microdosing. A lot of people are trying to see the effects of microdosing LSD and psilocybin containing mushrooms to see if it's the placebo or is this really, do you just really need this tiny stem that's really in the milligram range of this psilocybin in order to boost creativity and feel oneness and calm your anxiety and be able to activate your flow state and such like that? So this is really cool that one of them was 40 milligrams all the way to 125. And the studies was saying that it is dose dependent. It is dose dependent how much you're able to relieve of yourself, how you dive into yourself. Because the 40 milligrams on the scale, as I went over before, you was able to see how it wasn't as negative, minus how many numbers as much as the person that took the 125 milligram dose of the MDMA. So it really, as we see now, we can see that it is dose dependent on how much you want to relieve from yourself, how much post-traumatic stress disorder you want to relieve from yourself. This English is horrible, but that as we keep going with these studies, we'll have the words or invent new words to complement the feelings and the inner workings of what's going on. And these studies is pointing us in the right direction so that the people that write Webster and stuff like that can make things official in this 3D reality, man. But things are official to me. I diverge. All right, let's keep going. Okay. And they were giving it a month apart. That's cool. All right. Purpose of the session: on the morning following each experimental session. The first of the 3 integrative sessions was conducted. The purpose of this session was to assess the participants' mental state and stability and to facilitate assimilation of experiences and insights gained during the experimental session. And then they called them for like 15, 60 minutes on the phone at their home. They ain't just leave them all locked up. And for the safety, they checked for vital signs, and suicidal ideation and behavior were closely monitored. Just to make sure. That's why a therapist was there, to check behavior, because they're used to dealing with people that are experiencing different mental states. We're all in this reality, I'll say, just tie with me, but we all experience our own realities. We all creating this reality as one, but I believe we all have our own individual realities, because we all have our own mental states of mind here. I ain't gonna tie too deep. This is about to study, you know? All right, let's go. Let's keep going down, down, down. All right, see, they got the tables. I'm gonna leave a link for this in the description for sure, because y'all need to look at these maps. Whoa, dang, sorry for that. Microphone. Okay. I think that's a discussion. Yeah, the discussion is what I'm saying. It's basically saying that it's working. And based off the previous MDMA trials, it's all adding up to the same story. She said this one, it was approved by the FDA. So this is something that the FDA is actually going to be looking at and actually go into, so that their minds can take effect. And then it'll be on the road to legalization or decriminalization, or used for medical use. Probably be used prescriptions, give out prescriptions for MDMA. The future is here. All right, I'm not going to go real deep into the rest. This is the chemical structure of MDMA. But yeah, man, it's the new times. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And if y'all suffering from anything, if y'all ever have any pressing questions y'all have in your mind, just send them to me at justtaiNow@gmail.com, Captain Naga. I will be so happy to have a conversation with you one-on-one, or check out the Psy Talk live stream. It mostly goes on in the early afternoon or the morning. I'm on the West Coast, so I know my time is a little more earlier than y'all folks on the East Coast. But we're going to work all the time, so I'll probably do 2 shows a day. But I really want to communicate with y'all about life, the universe, and what goes on, so we can keep ourselves motivated and start the conversation when it comes to these weird topics like MDMA, or how we feel about time, or how we feel about ourselves when it comes to creating our own reality. So, or about the stars, astronomy, DMT. We talk about all of that on the live stream, so be sure to check it out. And also the Just Tai Now show, where I go out in the woods and I just give my 2 cents while I'm out there either meditating or experiencing whatever I'm experiencing at the moment. So I'm loving life, man. I'm loving the times right now, because it's all coming together. Synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity. And the time for us to get over our depression in the most healthy of ways is coming. Things are always going to occur, but for those that are willing to take the leap to really cure ourselves, it's coming. And it's not going to come in the form of hard drugs like crack cocaine, heroin, not even prescription drugs like Xanax or Zoloft or amphetamines, speed, meth. These are all here only because there is a void in a lot of people, and they're trying to fill it. They're trying to fill it up. And we're being filled up with a lot of bullshit. We're being filled up with a lot of bullshit politics. bullshit music, bullshit lifestyles, bullshit habits. Everything is really messing us up, and it's presented to us in a way that this is what we need to fill that empty hole. We need to look like this. We need to dress like this. We need to not care that people are killing people because it's for a reason. We need to really see and really reveal ourselves to ourselves. And it's going to come with relieving ourselves of our PTSD, of our depression, with these plant-derived medicines, such as MDMA, psilocybin-containing mushrooms, LSD even, and dimethyltryptamine, DMT. It all is going to come from working with these plant medicines alongside psychotherapy, pushing and starting the conversation so that people can hear about these studies that the New York University and Johns Hopkins are conducting, because most people, we're all brought into this world having different configurations. So depending on who's talking, that depends on who's listening. So man, don't just listen to me talk, but you start talking. You start your thing, man. Or share this video, drop a like. Please drop a like as well. But share this video and watch it with a friend. I used to do this all the time when I didn't feel as though I had the words to say, but I had the feeling that I wanted to convey to somebody. I would just put on Infinite Waters or something like that, and I'll let him talk, and then we'll talk all together, and then probably press pause and just whatever you need to do to start this conversation. Because a lot of people that's out here just offing themselves, just killing themselves, and having very strong suicidal thoughts. Y'all heard PTSD is when you're not able to live in the present now, the present moment, because you keep reliving moments from the past. And the story just keeps on replaying and replaying and replaying. Wow. And this is happening to a lot of people. A lot of people try to shut it up with alcohol or just being angry all the time and creating this upset vibe about the world. And they keep the depression in them, and outwardly it becomes a face. It becomes a mask. It becomes they become Gucci. They become Nike. They become Adidas. They become Fox. They become whatever. They become the person working at the grocery store. They become the person working at CVS, the manager. We put on all these masks, these roles, and we actually believe that this is us. We believe in these lies. Believe. You being in a lie. Anything here is an illusion. All created by our minds. So if you believe in anything that is here and basing your sadness off of things that's here, it's only because you're believing in a lie. Believe in yourself. You're the only thing that's real. What's inside is the only thing that is real. And that's what these plant medicines are telling us and enacting on us. Because when you see and don't believe, and when you believe that this is all that is and that this is real, you start suffering from depression and PTSD, because you like, this event happened in my life. It happened and occurred. I experienced it. There's no way I'm going to forget this. It's changing my life forever. And you just keep replaying that story, and it changes how you react in certain circumstances, and it can build up a lot of fear. That 4-letter spell, that FREFEAR spell, it all coincides together to building us up into something that when we look in the mirror, we just want to break it. So let's not go down that route. Let's not go down that route. I'm not telling you go out and do these medicines. I'm not telling you go out and do these. But what I'm saying is continue to do your research, or go out and start doing research on chemicals. The chemicals that are in these plants, why it's happening, and just how it changed people's lives around the world. Probably not in your circle, but probably you'll be the first person in your circle to start expanding other circles. Who knows? Just Ty. Just think about all the things that Captain Naga are saying to you. It's saying to you. Wow, okay. The mic keeps falling, so I guess that means the show should be wrapping up pretty soon. But hey, guys, man, make sure y'all share this page on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Share it. Check us out. Just Tai now, not just T-A-I, not T-H-I like the food. Do what you gotta do. Man, I'll see y'all, man. I'll see y'all right here. All right, guys, so I'm sipping on some nice tea. Getting my habits in order, getting my life in order. Hopefully y'all do too, man. Just think about all the things, and I leave y'all with this. We all tie, but do we really tie? Sometimes, I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. Till next time, it's Captain Naga asking you to tie always, dudes. Tie always. Tai'ers, and I'll see y'all episode 31 on the live stream. Peace. Peace.